welcome back to the live version of the Ben Zion podcast. I'm going to talk for a minute. Maybe one or two people will join because I want to have a conversation, perhaps in the comments, with anyone who does join about a book that I'm working on, tentatively titled The Transhuman Hurdle. And I wrote a preface to it. This is in response to a friend Dom, who said had seen some of my artwork and said I should, in this moment when the Zionism, as it's understood today, is under a lot of scrutiny, that I should capitalize upon that to discuss what I think is a better class of idea, Ben Zionism or technocommunism. And so I'm going to read a little bit on that subject now. And I'm hoping that somebody, maybe Diogenes or someone will join the conversation. But here we are. You can see this also, I think it's the top post on my Facebook now, so you can read along. And hopefully this isn't going to cut out. It still says it's live. Okay. The Transhuman Hurdle, Technology, Capitalism, and the Struggle for an Equitable Future, forward. As I once said to a noted transhumanist who I've since fallen out with, if anything, I am a transhumanist and also a critic of transhumanism. I would expect nothing less of anyone working to put forward such volatile ideas. As we stand at the cusp of a new technological age, we face a momentous choice about our collective future. Emerging capabilities in spheres like artificial intelligence, automation, and bioengineering promise to radically transform society. Yet, in the absence of structural reforms, these technologies threaten to exacerbate economic inequality and consolidate power in the hands of the corporate technocratic elite. To avoid this dystopian scenario and steer innovation toward emancipatory ends, we must resuscitate the revolutionary socialist specter. Quote, this means reinvigorating Marxist theory of revolutionary change while analyzing contemporary technological and economic conditions. Through praxis, linking critique to action, new systems of governance, participatory planning, and ownership can redefine the social relations undergirding production. In this book, I apply a Marxist lens to examine the development of technology under capitalism. Across the historical epochs analyzed, a recurring pattern emerges, technological innovations being co-opted to serve the accumulation imperative and strengthen the rule of capital. Temporary gains for ordinary people soon reach their limits, and reversal ensues. We see this dynamic vividly in the present as digital platforms, automated systems, and AI consolidate power in Silicon Valley boardrooms. The tech industry exemplifies the winner-take-all market dynamics that funnel wealth upwards. Its rhetoric about changing the world provides ideological cover for the not merely cruel and damaging, but ultimately ecocidal self-interest. I don't know how that got written out. In response, an embryonic coalition of data workers, gig drivers, socialists, unions, and open source activists has emerged to resist techno-capitalism. Thinkers like activist scholar Andrew Feenberg call for a deep democratization of technology through new participatory institutions and reforms to align innovation with social needs. Platform cooperatives that share ownership and governance are pioneering in this regard. However, legal and financial structures continue to embed capitalist social relations. For some left accelerationists, like Nick Snierkic and Alec Williams, this necessitates a post-work, post-scarcity transition in which automation generates radical abundance, facilitating a break from wage labor. Yet absent structural transformation, job loss under neoliberalism leads to austerity, not luxury automated communism. Reclaiming technology for emancipatory ends ultimately requires building counterpower to challenge the prerogatives of capital. As Marxist theorist Walter Benjamin contended, capitalism's endless drive for technological advancement correspondingly, quote, supplies the technology and resources for revolution and destruction. The weapons of automated systems, monopoly platforms, and AI engines can be repurposed, however, for liberation. This underscores the need for mass organization outside of traditional channels. The conditions and capabilities engendered by the latest technological shifts can equip a new wave of network social movements. These, these movements must advance um, um, an integrated political vision spanning electoral campaigns, labor organizing, cooperative development, local civic bodies, digital activism, and protest mobilization. The aim is to foster what Eric Olden Wright calls eroding capitalism, steadily expanding emancipatory models while weakening capitalist hegemony across interconnected domains. This prefigures the horizon of post-capitalism oriented toward meeting all people's basic needs and enabling their full participation in innovation decisions and value creation. Technology alone does not determine society's possibilities. Collective action and ideology ultimately shape the scope for transformative change. We stand at a pivotal juncture, one requiring courageous debate about possible futures. Through joining theory and action, we can yet forge technologies serving shared abundance over private riches. But the window of time is narrowing. The struggle must intensify now to redeem technology's promise before the dystopian terminal point. In this work, the Transhuman Hurdle, a lone voice resonates in a vast wilderness of technological discourse, the voice of Johanan Ben Zion. A hopeful shaper of things to come, Ben Zion emerges as a poignant figure, advocating for a vision both urgent and righteous, the promise of technocommunism. Technocommunism represents Ben Zion's clarion call for collective action to resolve the contradictions of technological development under capitalism. As they survey the contemporary terrain, they see peril in the relentless pace of innovation driven solely by profit. Without a corresponding transformation in underlying social relations, accelerating technological change serves to consolidate corporate power and wealth, displace labor, and drive environmental destruction. The resulting convergence of crises across economic, political, and ecological spheres threatens catastrophe on an unprecedented scale. Hence the pressing need for radical solutions with technology repurposed to serve egalitarian ends. This, for Ben Zion, your author, is the essence of technocommunism, leveraging automation and innovation to eradicate poverty and meet all human needs sustainably, with production and distribution networks held in common under democratic control. In the absence of such a transition, capitalist social relations cast long technological shadows. Biotechnology, artificial intelligence, ubiquitous sensors, and analytics. These capabilities promise radical abundance, but also enable frightening forms of surveillance capitalism and authoritarian technocracy. For Ben Zion, this dystopian future is fast approaching as Silicon Valley tech empires partner ever more intimately with state power structures. A little bit of an understatement. To change course and illuminate an emancipatory path, Ben Zion insists that knowledge must link to action. He draws inspiration from Marxist thinkers who have sought to orient technology toward human flourishing rather than the endless accumulation of capital. This politicized appraisal of technology remains all too rare. Its absence leaves the field open for reactionary ideologues, whether the huckster techno-utopianism of Elon Musk and Ray Kurzweil, or the sociopathy of Ayn Rand. In the concluding portions of this work, Ben Zion's voice reaches an urgent pitch. The window for systemic change grows perilously narrow, they warn. Only a massive wave of coordinated organizing across digital and physical domains can now redeem technology's promise and veer away from dystopia. The struggle must intensify without delay as his existential threats mount. Time yet remains for a civilization-wide metamorphosis that cements technology as a foundation for shared prosperity. But the clock is ticking ever faster as the technological nightmares converge with capitalist realities. This is the source of Ben Zion's anguished plea. Awaken from these capitalist dream worlds spun by Silicon Valley before the coming storms jolt us violently awake. Rally now to the banner of technocommunism. In unity lies our hope. My name's Burton, seeking unity, not division. Why Yohanan Ben Zion? It's a question I've fielded countless times when introducing myself. I chose the name years ago in passionate idealism, hoping to redeem and redefine phrases burdened by history. My aim was to gestate a more expansive, emancipatory vision for humanity's future, one transcending tribes and territories. Zion has profound resonances across histories and cultures. To early pilgrim settlers in the Americas, it epitomized dreams of religious refuge and regeneration, a New Jerusalem. As a biblical site of Solomon's temples, Mount Zion also signifies Judaism's awe and aspirations before divinity. And in Rastafarian tradition, Zion grows into a metaphor for an African diasporic community delivered out of a Babylonian captivity and back to the Promised Land. What unifies these visions is a yearning for unity, sanctuary, and renewal beyond present travails. Zion beckons as a horizon of hope sustained through suffering and struggle. It orients the path of exodus for those seeking freedom from bondage, a universal motif animating progressive movements across time and space. But Zionism as a modern political ideology besmirched this metaphoric power. In molding an exclusively lighter-skinned Jewish state, the Zionist movement came to embody national chauvinism, colonial displacement, and apartheid. Political Zionism etched an artificial border, scattered families, razed villages, and littered the region with trauma's wreckage. In proclaiming a land without a people, for a people without a land, it denied the vibrant community already inhabiting Palestine, fostering enduring conflict. I chose my name in youthful defiance of such noxious appropriation. By reformulating Zionism as technocommunism, I hope to reclaim an expansive utopianism open to all peoples. My goal was to inspire a transformation of underlying social structures that impede universal human rights and dignity. By envisaging radical change, I believed seeds of unity could blossom forth to displace ideologies of artificial division. Technology sits at the crux of this vision. Our tools hold power reflecting the consciousness of their creators. Shaping technology today requires grappling with capitalist drives to commodify data, automate drudgery, and design seductive commercial interfaces indifferent to individuals' holistic welfare. Under such conditions, innovations easily concentrate wealth rather than serving communities. Technocommunism offers an alternative heading, realigning innovation to dissolve unjust disparities in knowledge and control. With technology held in common and directed towards solving real human needs, new horizons emerge. Utopic longings suppressed by daily indignities reawaken. Science fiction's dreams become infrastructure, dreams of abundant energy, stable climate, creative work, deep leisure, AI assistance. My goal through such speculation was to inspire a new generation to see technology as a conduit for positive social change. First speaking of these things when I thought something like AI assistance would be a luxury of my later life, yet it is here. Silicon Valley's insular engineering mindset too often ignores the social implications of its applications while claiming to, quote, change the world. Technology must acknowledge their ethical responsibilities and build new participatory forums, facilitating open debate about long-term impacts. No single group can direct the technological journey alone, and Western technocrats not chastened by a deep Marxian understanding of collectivism or empathy for marginalized group do so at their peril. I realize now my original name choice risked reifying social divisions I sought to eradicate. By defining myself oppositionally as a Zion, I subtly, or perhaps not subtly, alienated potential allies. Building unity requires meeting people where they are, speaking plain truth simply, and aligning interests through class solidarity. Marx remains foundational here. Still, I maintain that recasting technology's promise in emancipatory terms is essential today. We inhabit what Frederick Jameson called the dingy utopias of the present, stuck amidst deteriorating conditions, while denied resources or voice to imagine better realities. Breaking this paralysis and organizing radical hope is pivotal. A name cannot shoulder such weight alone. Yet if my words catalyze even a few fellow sojourners, I've fulfilled my purpose. In retrospect, I failed to see some of the phrasing complications and may have overreached in desiring a great destiny. But when systems grow dire beyond measure, even flawed tools must be raised in defiance and fresh concepts forged. This is the essence of eruptive fury, ascending from roiling unrest. And such notions and practices I have devoted a great deal of time to studying. My contribution will surely prove one pebble in our wondrous mosaic, but as ever I aspire to illuminate the path ahead. I humbly cast my fate to the wind and join my comrades in the march forward. So this is a foreword of a book that I've outlined and written some chapters for, and been working on for a little while. I decided to read this forward because I had a conversation with someone, Dom, who said you should start working more on this kind of thing now. And the major questions for the outline are the extent to which and the ways in which I will continue to discuss the idea of an artificial intelligence takeoff, the implications of artificial general intelligence, and really that is not as much in question in my mind as whether to discuss hive mind collectivism and a technologically mediated hive mind as much as I might like. I think I will probably tend to discuss it a little bit less and keep to more earthbound affairs. That is central to my thinking, however. Maybe the hive mind collectivism book will be another book. It looks like somebody said something. I am still live here. Let's see, who was talking to me? Real good show here. Oh yeah. Hey Christopher, let's do it, baby. Where are you? Let's talk now. Christopher says hi. Let's see. Okay. I'm not really too smooth with the live stream thing. I've mostly done slightly more produced. I won't say produced shows. um, um, I guess somewhat more produced to only slightly more produced. Um, so, um, well, maybe my idea uh, of talking via instant messenger was not a great one. So I guess I'll just talk about something else that happened recently. I've been working on editing a film called Falcon X Omega Point, and I lost some work this week. I was I managed to install a Llama 2 on my machine, and a locally installed chatbot competitor to ChatGPT. And the main reason I wanted to do this was to explore some programming stuff. I'm not a very good programmer. I used to teach programming to little kids. a long time ago. It's kind of like saying I used to use punch cards to program. No, not really. But so I wanted to play around with uh, 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 some some projects that I had in mind with that. So I wanted to use the Llama 2 programming guide, which is competitive with the thing that you would pay some $30 a month for from various chatbot services to help you with programming. So I did get to play around with it a little bit, which is cool. But then I was like, I got to make more space on my hard drive. My hard drive's getting full, and all these chatbots take up a lot of space. So I accidentally cleared out a folder that had some other project stuff, and forgot that some of the video editing files had been automatically saved to that folder. I knew where all of the source files were, but the files that kind of compiled the thing were saved to that folder. So I deleted them, and then they were permanently deleted because it would delete a massive amount of stuff. So then I had to get the Recuva, how you say it. I had to get one of these apps that scrubs your hard drive to get my work back. Otherwise, I would have lost 3 months worth of editing work or something, and that would have been sad. So I got it back, and uh, uh, I did lose like basically a day or two of work. Some audio stuff was lost, some audio edits. But I don't think it was lost. I think it's in another file that I just have to put back into the master file. So that was really annoying. But yeah, I'm making a movie called Falcon X Omega Point, and it's about a group of programmers working for a military contractor who build an artificial intelligence that turns out to have runaway effects. They want to blow the whistle. The military contractor wants to keep everything under wraps. And this leads to some cyborg escapades and ultimately the cascading collapse of the military industrial complex and a period of peace on Earth. That's the operative idea of this story is that if the United States and Western military might were to dissolve away, the world would be a much better and safer place. And I watched the movie Oppenheimer, which is produced by noted fascist James Woods and some others. A filmmaker who skews right as well, Christopher Nolan, and the skews hard right, let's say. The main thing that I took away from that film is watching um, the father of the Bush dynasty in that film, and he's one of the worst people ever to live. A couple of the people in this film might be in the running for that. But he says, I sure did love Oppenheimer. I trusted him, and even though he made some missteps here. So you're in films of this kind, you're always humanizing history's monstrosities, and of course, also in this great pantheon of evil is the dropping of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs themselves, instantly incinerating 100,000 people to no real end. War was already over. This is a war crime. In a month of a lot of discussion of war crimes, this is ranks among the worst. And so I don't recommend this film. I think that it's just basically garbage. But I thought I would watch it anyway because I'll mostly watch a film if it has a couple of Marxist characters or themes, People said that it had what I'd read. People said that it was worth having a look at for that reason. It's a little long. It's well crafted. It has a nonlinear narrative, um, which it could have, in my view, the story might have been equally good if it had been 20% less nonlinear. That's the biggest structural criticism that I have. But I haven't read a lot of reviews or information about it. Um, but well, I'm going to end the stream. I read what I wanted to read, and I guess I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving watching this. Um, it's not a holiday that I've ever really celebrated, but it's a thing that people like to say. um, the um, uh, I'm going to start over this holiday uploading these 3 live streams that I've recorded on this platform, Facebook, ripping them and uploading them to the YouTube channel that some people watch. You're probably like, why haven't you uploaded anything in a couple of weeks? All 3 of the people that would actually care about that. um, but I have been. I haven't gotten around to putting those on YouTube yet.